What's going on, everybody? My name is Bailey from Creatively Innovative. Thanks for joining us. Today, I'm going to be going over the main metrics that you should be focused on in your Google Ads account. I'm going to explain what they are, how they can benefit you, and why you should be looking at these specific metrics. The first metric that I want to go over is impressions. So an impression is simply when somebody is searching for your service. For example, let's say somebody's searching for pressure washing in New Jersey. When they land on the Google search page, they will see your advertisement, whether it's at the top, the bottom, wherever it might be, they're going to see your Google ad. So an impression is simply the count of how many people see your Google ad. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just how many people your ad showed up to. The next one that I'd like to go over is clicks. So clicks are really important to drive a Google Ads campaign. You want to try to get people to click on your ads so then you can send them to a landing page and convert them from there. A click is pretty self-explanatory. It's just somebody who searched your service, they were obviously an impression, and now they actually clicked on your Google ad. One thing I'd like to highlight about clicks is that they're not the ultimate thing you should be worried about. For example, we had somebody reach out to us earlier this week and he said, "Hey, my agency is guaranteeing me this amount of clicks in a month." Okay, well, all they're doing is guaranteeing that you're going to be spending money, and I'll go into why that's the case. So you don't necessarily want to be focused on the amount of clicks you're going to be getting or the amount of clicks you got. Yes, it's an important factor and it tells you a handful of things, but you don't want to just be worried about the number of clicks you're getting. You want to be worried about something more important. Another metric that kind of goes hand in hand with impressions and clicks is the click-through rate. So as we've already talked about, somebody is going to search for your service, pressure washing in New Jersey. They're going to see your Google ad. That's going to show up as an impression. From there, they're going to click on your ad, and that's going to show up as a click. This metric, the click-through rate, is going to tell you how often somebody that sees your ad online in that Google advertising section actually clicks on your ad. This click-through rate is actually incredibly important because it tells us, do we have eye-catching headlines? Do we have the correct descriptions? Are we targeting the right audience? There's so many different things that go into click-through rate, but it's incredibly important to focus on driving clicks to your ads, and click-through rate explains kind of what is going on. It just shows how many people are actually clicking on your ad from the people that you are getting shown to on the Google search page. The next one that I want to go into is average cost per click. So the average cost per click is not, I want to preface this, is not the amount of money it takes to get somebody to give you a call. This is really important to know and distinguish the difference, because a cost per click is actually just the amount of money it took to get that person who is searching for your service to actually click on your ad. What that means is Google Ads is a bidding auction. So I might be bidding $2, this person might be bidding $3, this person might be bidding $4. There's a handful of variables that go into how Google determines when you're going to be showing up to a potential search, but the amount that you're bidding is going to influence that dramatically. Think about it in Google's case. Let's say there's somebody who is willing to spend $20 a click, and then there's somebody who's willing to spend $10 a click. Google is most likely going to be showing the person who is willing to spend more because they can get a little bit more out of them. It doesn't mean they're going to be actually getting that click for $20. It works a little bit differently than that, but it's just showing that that person is willing to pay more, so they have more of an opportunity to show up in front of these searches. Their ad still has to cater towards their audience and meet a whole bunch of criteria, whether it's actually a good ad, does it convert, and those types of things. But it kind of gives you an idea of your average cost per click is simply the amount of money that it takes on average to get somebody to click on your ad. And that's all it is. It's not how much money it took to get somebody to give you a call, how much it took to to get somebody to close a job and actually get you some money. It's just how much one click on average cost. So now I'm going to go into more of an obvious metric. It's called cost. When you look at Google Ads, it's simply just the amount of cost you accrued over a period of time. So let's say you had 100 clicks at $10 a click, you spent $1,000, 100 times 10. That's simply all the cost is factoring in, is just how much money you have spent over a course of time. So that's a pretty simple one. The next one I want to go into is the amount of leads. So it's not actually titled as leads in Google Ads. When you're looking for the amount of leads that you've gotten in Google Ads or from Google Ads, you need to be looking at conversions. A conversion is not a conversion of who clicked on your ad. As we mentioned before, we know what that is now. A conversion is actually who clicked on your ad and then filled out a form, requested a quote, or gave you a phone call, whatever it might be. That's what a conversion is. And that's tracked in the Google Ads under conversions. It's not a lead. In case you're looking for that, make sure you're looking for conversions. The next metric that kind of puts cost and conversions hand in hand is the cost per conversion. I know it's super obvious. So basically, the cost per conversion is that cost per lead that we're all talking about. Everybody's like, hey, what's my cost per lead? What can you get me? What is our cost per lead going to be? All those sorts of things. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about cost per click. We already know what that is now. We're talking about cost per conversion. That's our cost per lead. And what that means is how much ad spend on average did it take to finally get somebody to fill out a form, request a quote, or give you a call. So for example, let's say out of 5 clicks, they all costed $10, so you spent $50. Out of 5 clicks, you only converted one of those clicks. You would have spent $50 to get one lead. So your cost per lead would be $50 per lead. Now, another segment of this metric is the conversion rate. So the conversion rate is simply looking at how many clicks actually turned into conversions. So we've talked about conversions, the cost per conversion, clicks, and all of that. Now we need to look at conversion rate because this tells you how many clicks are actually turning into leads. So out of those 5 clicks that we were mentioning, we only converted 1 lead. So we have a 20% conversion rate because 1 out of every 5 clicks turns into a lead. So that's what your conversion rate is. It's just telling you out of those clicks, how many conversions are you actually getting? So the last metric I'd like to go over is search impression share. Not a lot of DIYers or individuals actually understand what search impression share is, so I'm going to explain it real fast. Basically, the search impression share is how often your ad shows up to potential searches. So when we go back to what we were talking about earlier with impressions, an impression is when somebody sees your ad after searching for a service. All search impression share is simply looking at how many times your ad shows up in front of somebody that was searching for your service. So, if there's 3 people searching for pressure washing services and only one of them actually sees your ad, that's a 33% search impression share. This metric can be important to know to see if you are showing up in front of all of your audience in the area, if there's more potential to maybe spend some more and get in front of more searches, those types of things. And that's why the search impression share is important. So now I kind of want to go over a few examples for you to kind of show what these actually look like in the Google Ads dashboard. As we can see here, we're looking at pressure washing campaigns for the month of May. The first thing that we talked about was clicks. So up here in the top, you can see 752 clicks. That just means that our ad had 752 people click on the ad. Then there was 7,317 impressions. That means that there were that many people who actually saw our ad. That's all it was. Then the click-through rate tells us that 10.28% of those impressions actually turned into clicks. So you can see how those kind of work together. The next one that you'll see there is average cost per click. So that's $6.60. That means that each of those clicks on average was costing about $6.66. That doesn't mean that we got a lead for $6.66. It just means that our cost on average because of the bidding is costing $6.66. Now we can see here that in the month of May in this pressure washing campaign, we spent $5,000. That is the cost. It's pretty simple. Then you can see in the conversions, we had 144 conversions or 144 leads. So that just means 144 people gave this company a call or they filled out a form to reach out to this company. Next one is cost per conversion. So each of those leads took about $34.80 worth of clicks to actually get that person to submit a form or give that business a call. So now we're going to look at the conversion rate. As we can see here, it's 19.15%, and that just means that 19.15% of the clicks are actually going to turn into a lead. The last one is search impression share at about 75.44%. This means that we are showing up to about 75% of potential searches. So out of 4 potential searches, we're showing up to just about 3 of every 4 potential searches. So now that we have a basic idea of what each of these main metrics mean, I want to discuss what is actually important to you. As I mentioned, we should be focusing on a couple of different things. We should be focused on the amount of leads, and we should be focused on the cost per lead. Too many times we talk to people who are worried about cost per click, how many clicks they're getting, and those types of things. They're just a piece to the final puzzle. So when you think about it as a sandwich, all of these factors like search impression share, click-through rate, cost per click, they're all ingredients in a sandwich. But really the sandwich, the whole meal itself, is how many leads are you getting? So that is the main focus that you should be having in a Google Ads account. You should be focused on how many leads you're getting and how much it's costing, that cost per conversion that I mentioned. Let's say that now you understand what you should be focusing on in a Google Ads account. What should you be doing about it? Well, let's say you're working with an agency. If they're sending you reporting, if they're sending you all sorts of information and analytics, now you have the tool set to actually analyze that data and determine for yourself if they're doing a good job for you. Because we have found a lot of the time that people will come to us and they're like, I don't even really know how many leads I'm getting, or I don't know the exact figure. There's no reason you shouldn't know. Then you should make your own choice on if the campaign is doing well or not, because if you understand the metrics, you'll understand if the ads are actually working. Just remember, you need to be looking at cost per conversion. But that's all for today. I really hope this deep dive into the various metrics in Google Ads and what you should be focusing on was helpful. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you need help diving into any of these different types of metrics, feel free to reach out to us. You can see our website down in the description below. We'd love to help you answer some questions and maybe even put together a strategy for you. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.